What's going on, filmmakers? I'm Alexander Don, and today we're gonna have some fun with the DJI Ronin 4D. Now, if you follow my channel, you know that I've tested this camera in many different situations, but today we're gonna test it out with anamorphic lenses. And the lens that I'm testing it with is the Greyjoy 50mm t2.9 1.8 squeeze. Now, this lens is a little bit too much for this sensor because this camera doesn't have an anamorphic mode. It has anamorphic desqueezing, but it doesn't have an anamorphic mode where you can desqueeze the image and get like a decent aspect ratio. Now, with this lens, it's a little bit too stretched out, but we do have a 6K sensor, which allows us to punch in a little bit. Now, one of the issues that I have today is the fact that I forgot my focus motor back home. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to manual focus this lens while the gimbal is on. But one idea came to my mind that what if I use this camera as a handheld camera, not really as a gimbal super steady camera. So for the first part of this video, I'm gonna use this camera handheld and I'm gonna manual focus it and see how it performs as a handheld camera.
I don't know what they've been wanting from me, but it's not it. Dollar in a dream and they say the faith nonsense. He gon' move mountains for me. He gon' move mountains for me. I don't know what they've been wanting from me, but it's not it. Dollar in a dream and they say the faith nonsense. He gon' move mountains for me. He gon' move mountains for me. Way too many nights I spent broke, I've been straight. Way too many nights I went broke, rich in faith. Way too many nights I had tears fill my face. Oh nah, 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 I couldn't find my...
Alright, so let me know what you think about the footage that we shot in the mountains. Now, I managed to get back home and mount the focus motor, and I'm really curious how it works. Usually this camera works really good with DJI lenses, but from my testing, when I put something else, it wasn't as good as I wanted. Now, I calibrated this as good as I can, and we're gonna test out its focus functions and how good it focuses using the LiDAR system. One thing that I wanna point out is, a thing that's really impressive is the fact that right now, the gimbal is not calibrated at all. As you can see, it's pretty bad, but the motors have a lot of power and it compensates really good for this lack of calibration. Now, I do have the plate on the back, and even though I have it, I cannot calibrate it with this lens. This lens is way too big for this gimbal, but the gimbal performance are still pretty good. So, let's see some footage from the town and see if this lens looks good or not.
Holy Spirit shooting, I shoot shots that I can't miss. Told the gospel to the same teller that I bank with. Heaven keeping score, he carry numbers like a baseline. R-E-T-F-O-R-T-H-E-O-N-E-K-I-N-G. Yes, it's S-O-N, got the G-A-M-E in a frenzy. Know this by design, I don't need the Louis or the Fendi. If I catch him hating, keep scrolling, boy, this only Gen Z. MJ, when I slide, we barely made it. Know I'm love for me, I know the king, and it's amazing. Space, amazing, okay. I know the one who know the way, there's only one way to the white.
To be honest, I wished the autofocus performance was a little bit faster, but it's a pretty complicated lens and I can understand that. Now I'm gonna test it out with a different lens. This one is a special one. It's from IronGlass. It's a Helios 44-2 rehoused in a cinema body, and I'm really curious to see how it performs with the Ronin 4D. I never tested this lens on this camera, so we're gonna do it right now. One thing that it's really interesting about this lens is that it has an anamorphic bokeh mode. So we're gonna compare real anamorphic with fake anamorphic, and we're gonna see which one looks better. So that's why I wanted to test out two different lenses with this setup so we can see exactly which one looks better.
And I gave y'all too many tears. And I gave y'all too many tears. I ain't had nobody in my corner for a whole while. I ain't did no complaining, I stood in these white Chuck tees and I stood 10 toes down. Tell me why I ain't quit, boy, my God still here crown. wife believe in my dreams, so I've been hungry. I don't fear the enemy scheming spirit on me. All my partners from back in the city I grew up at had an encounter with pins, and I'm not talking about trying to put you on a map. Take it there, we gon' take it there. Yeah, yeah, take it there, we gon' take it there. Yeah, yeah, take it there, we gon' take it there. Yeah, yeah, take it there, we gon' take it there. It's bigger than me and it has to be. I cannot go out and pastor the world if I cannot let the word pastor me. Then we got the nerve to talk about fruit. Boy, we can't even look past the tree. You know you gotta see the curve coming like the letter that's right after T. You know it. I got 3 in Trinity. If they want war, you know I'm for it. Heaven keep it score. If I'm dropping Floyd, know I'm born for it. You can hear it in my voice. I ain't had nobody in my corner for a whole while. I ain't did no complaining, I stood in these white Chuck tees and I stood 10 toes down. Tell me why I ain't quit, boy my God still here crown. Man, my wife believe in my dreams, so I've been hungry. I don't fear the enemy scheming spirit on me. All my partners from back in the city I grew up at had an encounter with pins, and I'm not talking about trying to put you on a map. Take it there, we gon' take it there. Yeah, take it there.
Alright, let me know what you think about the footage coming out of this lens as well. One thing that I realized when I was calibrating this lens, I saw there are ways to put multiple points of calibration so you can make the focusing more precise. Now with the previous lens, I didn't know about that and I didn't do it. So that's why the autofocus performance was a little bit weaker than this one. Now with this one, I added like 5 or 6 points of calibration and it performs absolutely amazing, almost similar to a Sony camera. To be honest, I think it looked better with this lens than with the anamorphic one, mostly because I think the anamorphic one is squeezing a little bit too much, so you end up with not so much image in the end. So with this one, you still have that anamorphic characteristics, but you have a 16:9 image. So I think it's a win when it comes to this battle between images, but I'm also curious about your opinion. So let me know in the comments which lens do you think was better. Now, until next time, I want you guys to hit that subscribe button so we can do more videos like this where we test different lenses and cameras, and we can have a little bit of fun doing so. And maybe by doing this, you can have a better decision if you want to buy a product or not, or if this product is for you or not. So I'm trying my best to test these cameras and lenses as if I would shoot with them in a real scenario. Until the next one, I'm Alexander Don, and thanks a lot for watching. Peace.